I keep trying to tell these people it's phone booth, not voting booth. Now, they've only got 30 days to figure this stuff out, which isn't enough time to boil water and make an omelet as far as I'm concerned. But nevertheless, it's a phone booth, not a voting booth. Keep telling these people that. All right. Man, it's hard to... Okay. You know, when you only have 36 days till an election, there's a lot of stuff you have to deal with, especially when you run an office as complex as the one we do here at Niagara 411 Live. Welcome, by the way, to Season 2, Episode 33 of Niagara 411 Live. We are fueled by Gales Gas Bars. We are powered by WeeStream. We are supported by our ever, always loyal subjects, Performance Heating and Air, as well as Enwick high-speed internet here in Niagara. Everybody's here in Niagara, as well as Verge Insurance Group. So the usual suspects are still supporting this program. Go figure. My name is Sterry. Kevin Jack is behind the camera. We'll meet him in a bit as we get into Fiddler's Poorhouse, where we have once again the honor of appearing in the lovely window of here on St. Paul Street. So come on in, enjoy the show. We are in, I don't know where this term came from, we'll talk about this. We're in the dog days of summer right now. And again, I have no idea what that means, but here we are. It's a little cooler in here in the shade. Kevin is going to sit me down in the sunshine again in just a second, and we'll fill you in a little bit on what we're going to do today. As a matter of fact, I have no idea what we're going to do today, which is going to kind of make it fun. So make sure you stay with us and join the show. We'll be right back. We are back and we are live, and welcome, as I mentioned, to Season 2, Episode 33. Kevin, I think we're the hardest working broadcasters in show business. How many people on the Late Show or the Tonight Show or the whatever the heck it is show say, hey, we've done 33 episodes already and it's only August? How many people can say that?
We're knocking it out of the park, Lee.
Live.
Yeah.
Boy.
Nobody does anything live anymore.
Gosh, I know. We should form a union. I'm telling you, the way the unions are making news these days. Never mind. I don't want to go there. Kevin Jack is the other gentleman on the right side of your screen. He is principal, along with Brandon Scram, of WeeStream, Niagara's, Ontario's, Canada's premier streaming company. There it is right there. And we'll talk more about that as the show goes on. And again, thank you to our sponsors as per usual. Gales Gas Bars, our premier sponsor, our title sponsor, fuels this program and has done from pretty much its inception. As well as Performance Heating and Air, Enwick High Speed Internet, Verge Insurance Group, and the wonderful Beau Chapeau Hat Shop on Queen Street, Niagara on the Lake. Now, this is a repeat hat, Kevin. I had one more to unveil today, but I thought, well, it's a little bit warm.
I like that hat.
So I thought I'd go with the straw version. So to Kevin Neufeld and his staff at Beau Chapeau Hat Shop, and I'm sure they're really super busy today. Have you been in Niagara on the Lake lately? Jammed with people. It's wonderful to see the people back visiting places in Niagara. And of course, Niagara on the Lake is always a great destination. So if you're going to scoot down there for just a waltz around or an ice cream or a bite to eat or whatever it is and just soak in the environment of Niagara on the Lake, please do stop by Beau Chapeau Hat Shop, because it's really a cool place. At any given moment, they'll have like 10,000 hats in stock. Some friends of ours visited, and I was showing off my hats because I was pretty proud. I bought 4 of them, and I own 6 in total. And she said, we were in Niagara on the Lake today. We walked by and I didn't go in. Well, don't just walk by. Go in and have a look. even if you don't buy a hat, now, sorry, Kevin Neufeld, but, I mean, even if you don't buy a hat, it's pretty amazing place to, and I almost dare you to go in and not buy a hat at Beau Chapeau Hat Shop on Queen Street. Anyway, Kev, we've been talking a lot on and off over there, right there. That was a beautiful shot of it.
Oh, sorry,
Okay.
yeah, I'll throw that back up.
No, it's okay. People saw it. There you go. So cool. And pretty soon, they're going to be having a service opened in the shop, which will enable them to repair and refurbish hats of all different styles and genres and ages and decades, etc. So it's pretty cool. And it's all here in Niagara. Speaking of here in Niagara, yeah.
Lee, just want to make note of this. Here's Frankie Flowers of TV fame.
There you go.
And he was down doing a spot, I guess, in Niagara on the Lake, so stop by Beau Chapeau. So
yeah.
it's a sought-after destination.
It really is. So don't just walk by, stop in. Okay, so Kev, right now happening in St. Catharines is the very last protest, demonstration, whatever you want to call it. A family of friends of Deidre Ann Smith, who was murdered back in 2018 along with her boyfriend. And the third person charged in that case and convicted in that case is going to be sentenced today. There are Deidre Ann's family. They joined us. This is a video that was with us last week on the program. And we won't replay it because we had some audio things, etc. But it was a very emotional conversation. You can still find it, by the way, archived on Niagara 411 and all over the internet. So there you go. And that's really the crux of it. 2 murders, and they will only serve 5 years, 6.5 years, or whatever. One of the people actually pretty much it will be done after time served. So it seems to those of us on the outside looking in, including Deidre Ann's family, a slap on the wrist as opposed to justice. The court system, the judicial system sees things probably differently. Will there be any difference made whatsoever by these demonstrations that are taking place right now in front of the courthouse in St. Catharines? We don't know. I have a feeling it will not. I think, from my perspective, not being jaded, but just being a realist, is the fact that the judicial system has its wheels, and they move and they grind slowly, but they do grind inevitably to a conclusion. And very, very rarely is any judge or jury going to be affected by somebody that's carrying a sign outside on the street. And as sad as that is, I believe it to be true. So I don't think it's going to make a hill of beans worth of difference. But that being said, kudos to the family for continuing to fight for at least justice in the court of public opinion, if not in the court of the land. And therein, I suppose, lies the benefit to what they've been doing. And awareness is that word we hear an awful lot of, and raising awareness and being in the faces of the powers that be and the decision makers, I suppose, is better than not being there. And we did extend the invitation, just so you know, to the family again to join in the program today if they felt so inclined and had the opportunity to do so while they are out in front of the courthouse today. We didn't set up anything formally, but they're invited, as you are, at any time, to be a part of this show. And Kevin, we might as well segue into how that can happen. The mandate of this program, as Kevin envisioned it, and he and I talk about often, is you need not wait for an invitation. If you wait for an invitation, you may be waiting for a very long time, because there are a lot of things going on in Niagara. But that doesn't mean we do not want to talk to you. That doesn't mean we don't want to hear from you. Au contraire, it means that you are free to join this program. Think of it as an open line radio talk show. Think of it as a live, interactive, open line television talk show where you can jump in at any time you like. And today is a prime opportunity because we do not have scheduled guests in any way, shape, or form, so we are about as flexible as Gumby and Pokey. Now, I know I'm dating myself by saying that.
That's a good current reference there, Lee.
There are people out there right now saying, "What the hell is he talking about?" Well, Gumby and Pokey were little rubberized cartoon characters back in the day, and boy, are they flexible. They will bend, but they will not break. So that's what I kind of mean. We are about as flexible as Gumby. Gumby was this weird-looking humanoid, and Pokey was a goofy-looking horse. But they were very. I think Gumby was green and Pokey was pink, right? I think that's how it worked.
Yeah, I'll pull them up for you here, Lee.
Are you going to show us Gumby and Pokey?
Yeah, there you go. There's Gumby and Pokey.
There's Gumby and Pokey. Well, Pokey looks orange there. Why do we have a purple Gumby up there?
Is it purple?
Scroll down again.
Yeah,
right there.
He's
What is
purplish.
that? That's not a Gumby. Okay. Anyway, see what I mean?
I don't know. Knockoffs, Lee. Knockoffs.
I got one of the Rolexes too. So, yeah.
And yeah, to your point, it's so easy to get on the program, Lee. All you have to do is click on the link, and we'll talk to anybody at any time. And we'll talk to this gentleman. If you want to walk by, that's another way to get on the show as well. If you want to see how things are done behind the scenes, we are broadcasting live from Fiddler's Poorhouse. What you see in the background there, behind Lee, that's St. Paul Street, downtown St. Catharines. They are open as of noon. As soon as we went on the air, they opened the doors here at Fiddler's Poorhouse. So if you're looking for lunch or a bite to eat or a snack or a drink, come on down. You can see behind the scenes, say hi to Lee and myself, and even get on the show. Something
I've wondered for a long, long time since we've been doing this show. See over my left shoulder, there's the British Boutique. They have been on every show for an hour and a half that we've been doing since we started this thing. I haven't seen one nickel from the Brit. No, nothing. I'm kidding. It's just where we are. Just where we happen to be.
I'm feeling fun, so I'll let you talk, and let's go give a close-up shot at the British Boutique. Let's see what they got in their window.
Are you going to do that?
Yeah, why not?
All right, good.
So the show's open. This is what we're up to today.
Yeah. So again, to talk about our sponsors, we're going to be having Jessica Friesen of Gales Gas Bars on probably the 26th or somewhere around there near the end of the month, because I believe she's taking a well-earned vacation right now. And the reason we're going to have her on is not because she's sponsoring the program, which we most definitely appreciate, but because she is now an accomplished published author of the book This Will Not Break Me. And it's about her struggle many years ago when her son Eddie was born, who's now about 15 years old, and her struggle was with postpartum depression. And this is really tough for somebody that spent their entire life growing up thinking of wanting to be nothing more than a mom. And when you go through these emotions, it makes it difficult. And she's now got the writing bug, so she's going to be writing a fiction book, I do believe, at some point. So anyway, Jessica's going to be coming on. Carlo and his gang at Performance Heating and Air, thank you, Scott, and the folks at Enwick High Speed Internet. Always a pleasure to have you here. And of course, Mark Shirk and the group at Verge Insurance Group. We appreciate you. Now, Kevin's walking across St. Paul Street here, and I did mention the fact that the British Boutique has been on our show for weeks and weeks and weeks. Well, the 33 of them, if not more, that we've been doing this show from down here. And we've never got up close and personal with them. And they have no idea we're doing this. There is no kickback. I'm not getting a free soccer ball or a British flag or any of that stuff. We're just doing this for giggles. And that's a Coronation Street. Do you watch Coronation Street? My wife is from London. She has me watching Coronation Street all the time. It's like the longest running soap opera on the planet ever. There's one of our little fuzzy guards that stands outside guarding the royal family. Well, there's a lot to guard there those days. And then if you look back across the street, that's where we are, and you see my back as Kevin makes his way back across the street to Fiddler's Poorhouse. And that's a smooth segue into thanking Dave Mukparian and his staff for putting up with us here on Niagara 411 Live with Lee Sterry. It is just such a pleasure to do this week after week after week. And now back through the ever-present door and into the confines of the actually English pubby type atmosphere of Fiddler's Poorhouse. Thanks for doing that, Kevin.
Yeah, no problem. Did you get some of that?
Yeah, we got a lot of it. I was talking about a number of things as you were doing that. Now, all you have to do is chop up that video, send it to the people over at the British Boutique, and we might get a free soccer ball or something.
That might be nice. We can kick that around. Just did a whole expose on the British Boutique. They've been down here forever.
Oh, yeah, they have. As have a lot of the companies down here. And to that point, St. Paul Street in St. Catharines, downtown St. Catharines in general, not just St. Paul, but downtown St. Catharines in general, has come a long way over the last number of years. Yeah, downtowns always have a struggle, but this particular area has managed to sort of reboot itself. We kind of have downtown 2.0 underway since the Meridian Center went in and the Performing Arts Center went in. The Brock School for the Arts, also just down the street. It has brought a different feel and a different air to the downtown. So anybody that is perhaps protesting their city or town councils around Niagara when they try to invest in higher level traffic in their downtown areas, go for it. I mean, build it. It's the old Field of Dreams thing. It was like when the Yankees played the White Sox this past week at the Field of Dreams game.
How cool was that?
That was so neat, eh?
At first I thought it might be a little gimmicky, and I was glued to the broadcast.
Yeah, it was so neat.
It was. Hitting a home run into a cornfield just has a certain feel to it, doesn't it?
I mean, imagine how cool that would have been for the players, especially the White Sox players. Just crazy cool. But to go to my point, it is true. If you build it, they will come. And there was a lot of opposition to putting the Meridian Center in Niagara Falls. I remember when I was in Winnipeg, there was a lot of opposition to building the Bell Center right downtown at Portage and Main in Winnipeg, which was just the dregs of society at that point in time. Inner city blues all over the place. But it has revitalized that area. The Gale Center out in Niagara Falls has sort of revitalized some of that stuff. Yeah, Queen Street needs some work, but the city's been working at it. My wife and I were actually driving through Welland, went down Main Street. Now there's a downtown core that could use some revitalization.
Yeah, if you want to talk, I mean, downtown revitalization, I think there's been a shift in municipal planning. In the past, they used to bark at us, the citizens and private enterprise, and saying, come on, revitalize downtown. Meanwhile, they would build all of their arenas and their hospitals and the Performing Arts Center out of town, where the land was cheap, there was lots of parking, et cetera, et cetera. They're like, well, that's the reason we don't want to go downtown. So finally here, they got rid of that eyesore that was the lower level parking lot. They put up this great landmark that is the Meridian Arena.
Yeah.
And now look what it's done. All the businesses are thriving downtown. The Performing Arts Center is here. And once they do that, once the cities begin to invest in the downtown and give us reasons to go there, then the money follows.
And you can't improve your inner city by moving people out. You just improve it by bringing the customers you want in. And the rest takes care of itself. It's a very, very simple process that a lot of people don't believe in, but it works. I've seen it work so many places. And nothing is a finished product. Everything is a work in progress. And if you want to weigh in on any of that stuff, by all means, come on ahead and do it. Click on the Zoom link in the post as you see there on the bottom of the screen. Kevin will get you into the Zoom room, green room, and get you all prepped and ready to go, and we'll have a conversation.
And Lee, funny you should mention that, because somebody has done so. It's just this easy to get on the program.
Well, look at that.
So say hello. I think it came through as William, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's his name. Say hello.
William, how you doing? Is that you?
Oh, you got to unmute yourself, brother.
Unmute. Okay. Sorry, man, can't hear you. I can see you, but I cannot hear you.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now, loud and clear. How you doing today?
There we go. I'm good. How are you?
Oh, I couldn't be better. What's going on? How can we help you?
I am calling in just to let people know in the Niagara region and Ontario that I am embarking on a walk to Ottawa commencing August 30th from St. Kevin's Parish to Ottawa to hold the church accountable.
Okay. And how is this going to unfold?
I have been protesting now for just under 3 years at St. Kevin's Parish in Welland. Every Sunday, every service. Been talking with survivors the whole time. We had a petition in the House of Commons to have a third-party investigation look into the Catholic Church. There is just over 393 guilty, convicted Catholic priests in the country of Canada, and there's never been a third-party investigation. It's time. And this walk,
sorry, William, convicted of what?
Child abuse,
okay.
Raping children.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
Absolutely.
I just wanted to clarify that.
Yes. Before the residential schools began to break, we had started planning this walk. We had to postpone until August 30th because of the pandemic. But like I said in the paper the other day, the residential schools is jet fuel for this walk. I'm absolutely going to Ottawa to get some answers.
Do you have a connection in any way? What motivated you to do this?
From 1979 to 1982, I was raped by Donald Greco. He was a priest at St. Kevin's Parish. And then again from 85 to 86 at St. John's Training School by Christian Brother Bernard. So for just over 30 years, I kept this a secret and said nothing. The ripple effect in life is obvious. It affects the entire community is affected by, the counseling, the prison, the addiction, the whole 9 yards that goes with it. I came forward in 2010, and since 2010, I've been basically fighting the Catholic Church. Yeah.
Fighting in what way?
Well, I do have a lawsuit in against the church, but also fighting them this way here to have files opened up. Also fighting the justice system. When these perpetrators are caught, it is automatic that they put a publication ban on it. It took me 4 court appearances to have my name lifted in the Greco case. The survivors/victims should have the choice immediately to have the perpetrator's name put in the paper. That is the beginning of closure and healing. Absolutely.
William, what do you want, or how can we or someone listening that might be moved by this, are interested more in the walk, etc.? Is there any more information you can give us as to what people can do to either assist you or help with awareness, or you know what I'm saying? How can this program? What are you trying to accomplish here by coming on today?
Absolutely. I came on today just to kind of let people know the walk is happening.
Yeah.
We do have a GoFundMe up for the expenses for the walk. It's going to take approximately 6 weeks to walk there. I have a support driver also.
Right.
We have 35 stops along the way. We're going to be stopping at Catholic churches. We're going to be stopping at Catholic dioceses, calling out the perpetrators in the communities that they perpetrated on children in. I just to be able to get the word out there to let people know what's going on. Like I said, we have a GoFundMe. It's a Voice for the Voiceless Walk to Ottawa, if somebody would like. And if not, just drive by. I have 2 more Sundays left in front of St. Kevin's Parish in Welland on Niagara Street.
Okay.
Just drive by and honk the horn and give me a thumbs up.
Okay. And you said this walk had a name. Give us the name of the walk again.
A Voice for the Voiceless Walk to Ottawa.
All right. Now, is there a link on the internet for that, or a website or anything like that people can go for more information just to do it on their own?
It's on we have on Facebook, we have CAPA, C-A-P-A, which is Child Abuse Prevention Activists. CAPA, if you go to Facebook, if you go to CAPA, if you go to that group there, you can find all the information. The walk will be live streamed every single day. We're going to be stopping at all the media outlets. We're going to make sure that this is heard loud and clear.
What do you want to have happen when you get to Ottawa?
Pardon me?
What do you want to have happen when you get to Ottawa?
I have a number of answers, questions that I need to be answered, and nobody seems to want to answer them through emails, phone calls, anything like that. So once I get up there, I know the way the politicians are. I know it's an election year. I know I'm probably going to be sloughed. There is a plan once I get up there.
Okay.
So stay tuned. I'm not going to be leaving Ottawa until I get answers.
Well, it will be interesting because your walk is not going to be completed before the federal election takes place on September 20th, right?
Exactly.
So you'll still be walking when we're voting.
Yeah.
So it'll be very, very interesting to see if any of these politicians that are running for office engage you on your journey.
I actually went to Brock University 3 years ago and held Justin Trudeau's feet to the fire.
Yeah.
Thankfully, the last question of the evening in the auditorium was about sexual assault laws in Canada. And when that lady quit asking her question, I began interrupting him, screaming at him, the Catholic Church needs investigating. He turned to Cogeco 10 and agreed the Catholic Church needs investigating. As did Jagmeet Singh when I met him at the Blue Star in Welland on his campaign trail. I would love to find O'Toole. I'm going to go see Vance Badaway on Sunday at his little thing. So yeah, I'm sure they're all going to be looking for a photo op. All of them support me when we talk in private, but when it comes to the overall big base, they don't. I understand their voter base is Catholic.
That's not unusual.
No.
It's unfortunate, but it's not unusual.
That's right.
Well, one more question. When you say you were battling the Catholic Church and you have a current lawsuit, civil suit, whatever it is in the works, and I know that it's difficult to talk about legal things that are in process. Who do you actually go to? Because there are many, many levels to an organization such as the Roman Catholic Church. Do you start at Rome and work your way down? Do you go to the local diocese? How do you sue? How do you do that? Where do you go?
There is a law firm, Beckett Personal Injuries in London, Ontario, that has taken on the Catholic Church now for 25 years in this country. They have a dedicated team. They have a division. Sadly, they have a division within their law team that goes after the church. And Rob Talek, he is known as the priest slayer, and that's who my lawyer is.
Okay. But
that's what people have labeled him. And he's done an amazing job. If anybody wants to see Rob in action, there's a documentary that came out at TIFF last year called Pray. And it's the same kind of thing about an altar boy that was abused by a priest in Windsor and how he won his case.
Thanks for the information. Just so that you know, Kevin put up on the screen, you couldn't see it, but while you were talking, on the other side of the screen, Kevin put up the GoFundMe page with the details, etc., of how to clue into the voice for the voiceless.
Thank you so much, Kevin.
I'm assuming you're going to have a support team that makes sure that you're healthy or as healthy as possible during this thing, right?
I have a driver, best friend of mine, Jennifer Hodgkins, who will be joining me along the way.
Okay.
I'm going to be doing the walking, and Jen's going to be taking care of everything else for me. God bless her.
All right. What route are you going to be taking?
I'm taking service roads. We're starting 9 a.m. on August 30th, 9 a.m. Monday from St. Kevin's Parish.
Yeah.
We'll be taking Merrittville Highway. First stop is the Holiday Inn on Lake Street. We're taking service roads and Highway 2 all the way into Ottawa. And like I said, we have a lot of stops along the way.
So you're actually going to be going through these communities all the way, as opposed to like walking down the 400 series highways and those kinds of things.
Oh, no. Yeah, I'm actually going in to engage with the communities for sure.
All right. Well, thanks for that. How long have you been planning this?
We've been planning this now a couple of years.
Wow.
My very first protest was September 14th, 2018, in front of the Cathedral in St. Catharines for Bishop Murgy to ask him the question, why was Father Greco moved 5 times before he got to rape me? And that question still never has been answered. And that's another question I have.
William, will you be in a position to check in with us when we do our shows from wherever you are? You said it's going to take you 6 weeks. Is that the plan? That's what you're saying?
Yes, actually the walk would probably only take about 25 to 30 days, but like I said,
I was going to say,
stops. Yeah, we have people to talk to and things to do, some protests and stuff like that. So definitely, I will be contacting you guys as much as you'd like me to along.
Okay, well, stay in touch with us. Follow us on Niagara 411 or WeeStream Niagara or WeeStream, and on Facebook, and make sure that you click in at any time like you did today, because we do our show, just to reiterate, Thursdays at noon. And we would really like to continue to hear about your progress and any changes in state of mind or attitude or perception or whatever as you make your journey from into Ottawa.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for this platform, too. I so much appreciate it.
Yeah.
As do all survivors.
Thanks. Well, stay safe, be safe, and we'll talk again soon, I know. Thanks, William.
We will for sure. Thank you so much.
All right, mate. See ya.
Bye-bye.
Now, see, that is something, Kevin, as this gentleman and his backers and his circle of friends and family and supporters have been talking about this for a couple of years. And today, I don't think I live with my head in the sand. I think I'm pretty aware of what's going on. I've never heard of it till today.
No, I've seen him protesting. I mean,
you have.
He is very, very dedicated. As he mentioned, he's been out there every Sunday without fail for years.
Wow.
And it just goes to show how it's affected him. And obviously, through his journey, he's connected to other survivors. And here he is in his adult life, still living with those scars. So it's no joke. I would agree wholeheartedly that more attention needs to be drawn to this, and it appears as though the powers that be kind of want to duck and hope that it goes away. But for the survivors, it never goes away.
You know, one of the things that is always an unfortunate victim of what we call today the media cycle is, as one new issue raises its head and gains attention, people tend to jump on board. It's the bandwagon jumpers that take the heat or the focus off something else. Now, the residential school situation, in spite of the fact that it still involves the Catholic Church, has almost done a 180 focus from people like William that grew up through the traditional processes of participating in the church, and has really shifted focus off that issue. Because he's not talking about the residential school thing. He's talking about just the regular rank and file, being a choir boy or whatever in the church. And
I wish him much success, and I hope that he does.
Me too.
I hope he does join the program again, as we can follow his journey to Ottawa, and I hope somebody listens. I sure do.
And it's, as he said, a lot of people will support you in private, but when it comes to waving the flag out in the world, boy, there's a lot of slings and arrows of outrageous fortune there to battle, and it's not easy and to fight that fight. So
now, Lee, I mean, it's so easy to join the program, just like William did. All you have to do is click on that Zoom link, and you can talk about whatever it is that you want to talk about. So I encourage people to continue to do so. We're live right up until 1:30. Lee, I'm going to shift myself aside as we welcome David Green onto the program.
David Green. Welcome, my friend. Local comic and self-promoter extraordinaire. I see you are once again wearing the champion hats. So
yes,
that's good on you. How's your family doing?
They're doing great. We're off to the sunflower farm today. So that's why I'm wearing yellow, so I can try and be a little camouflaged.
Awesome. Now you have a relatively new little girl, right?
Yeah, she just turned 1 last week.
Well, congratulations.
Oh, happy birthday, Charlotte.
Yeah, I know. I knew there was still a little one in there somewhere. Well, my granddaughter just turned 1 as well. So
congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. We are kindred spirits. What can we do for you today, David?
I was just scrolling on the Facebook and I saw it was like anybody can join the program, and yeah, always a fan of supporting Niagara 4-1. I thought I'd pop in and see I could update everybody on the comedy going on Niagara now that we're all up and running.
Well,
so
we would
exciting times.
Yeah, we would love to hear more about that now that things are starting to open up. So what's happening?
So just behind you on St. Paul Street tonight is opening night of Showtime Comedy Club is opening their doors for the first time in a long time, which is very exciting. So they've got their amateur night starting there at 8 p.m.
Right.
And so for the last 5 weeks, myself on Wednesday nights, we've been doing free family-friendly comedy shows in Grimsby at Coronation Park. We just had one last night, and we've had full crowds every week, 100 people in the park, and it's been an awesome time spending, telling jokes to real people and not Zoom computers. So, great.
Yeah, that's great. Kevin is just putting up some shots of you. You can't see them right now, but yeah, the Grimsby nights are very cool. And
that's from last night.
That was just from last night?
Awesome.
Neato. Yeah.
And then tomorrow night we're out at Hernder Estate Wines in St. Catharines. We're doing our summer comedy concert series. We've got a sold-out show there with 140 people, and cannot wait. It'll be our third show there, and it's been such a great crowd. So
now I'm putting up the graphic here for you, David. It's the Italian show tomorrow night, but you're completely sold out.
Yeah, completely sold out. Yeah, our next show is September 17th, and there's tickets are already selling quick for that too. So dinner and a show, you get a delicious 3-course dinner, and then some of the best comedians from around Canada.
Oh, so it's like a dinner comedy theater.
Exactly. Yeah, we have dinner from 6:30 till 7:30, and then the show begins 7:30. We run till approximately 9 o'clock.
Great idea.
Outside under the stars, it's a beautiful, beautiful venue.
David, let me ask you, what's the ticket price on that? I know we can't go tomorrow night because you're sold out, but that sounds like a great night.
Yeah, so per couple is $110 per couple, so $55 each, and that gets you bread rolls to start. You get a 3-course dinner. You start off with a salad, your main course, your dessert, and then 2 tickets to the comedy show and a bottle of wine to share as well. So
are you kidding? Wow, what a great
wine, comedy. Yeah, can't go wrong.
What a great deal. So so tomorrow night is sold out, but the next night is when?
September 17th.
And and we go online to do that? What's the easiest way to do it?
You can find all the details at GardenCityComedyFestival.com, and then just message Angel at Hernder.com, and then she will take care of all the reservations, dietary.
Angel's great down there. I know Angel.
That's awesome. That is great.
Hey, David, I'm just showing the short little video clip that you do for the promo for the Hernder nights.
Yeah,
and it's great. It's such a nice venue. That patio out there. And I mean, it's right near the road. There's no traffic. That's a dead end street out there.
Hernders is in a great place.
Yeah, look at it right there.
Hidden gem is what I like to call it. A hidden gem.
Yeah, and you know what? It's almost a dying art, but there are a few places that still do this, and thank goodness some of the wineries do as well. The sort of dinner theater, be it music, be it comedy, whatever, where people can get together, enjoy a nice glass of wine and a nice meal, and have some entertainment. It's a wonderful way to spend an evening. So that's awesome. That's really, really good to hear.
Awesome. Yeah, we hope to see you at a show sometime, Lee, as well.
Yeah, absolutely. What's the shirt? Social distance.
It's a social distant warrior. It was I filmed a sketch last year during the lockdown, and we had. Remember when Clifton Hill had the social distance warriors?
Yes.
The COVID police going around, giving people hand sanitizer. So we filmed a sketch where everybody was dressed in these uniforms, and we had water pistol guns that were squirting everybody with hand sanitizer, and just a fun. And it's the only yellow shirt I have, so I wore it for the sunflowers today.
That's great. Well, congratulations on the 1 year birthday of your child, Charlotte. Congratulations on finally being able to get back in front of an audience for a live performer. And I think music is one thing, because you play your music and a lot of people are used to sharing their music virtually or digitally or whatever. But when it comes to a live performance where you're used to engaging with an audience, that feedback, when it's gone, when it's missing, you really feel like something's missing, don't you?
Yeah, we've had to adapt. It's funny, 2 weeks ago, I did a drive-in show where I got to perform to cars, and people are honking their cars at me to react to the jokes and flashing their headlights. And
that's good.
That was interesting experience. But it's cool. Like never would have thought to get to experience something like that. It was
Well, I live and learn. It certainly has added, I'm sure, a different dimension to your entertainment experiences. So you'll file it for the future. Dave Green, always a pleasure. Congratulations on these events. It sounds like they're great. Sold out is good. So have a great time tomorrow, and we'll look for you in September.
Thank you so much, fellas. Appreciate the time.
Hey, man, take care. Nice. See, this is exactly what this show is meant to do. It's meant to promote things that are happening in Niagara, or at least inform Niagarans about Niagarans. And it doesn't always have to be a promotion. It can be, have you got a story to tell? Like, for instance, I had one earlier today. It's a nothing story, really. We've all had these things happen to us, and yet it left me scratching my head. And it made me feel, when I came in to tell Kevin about it, it kind of made me feel good to just get it off my chest and say, hey, this happened, and I was just kind of weirded out about it. And it was really simple. And frankly, I was the one, ultimately, that would have been held accountable or would have been at fault. So,
yeah, you nearly killed someone.
Well, let's not put too fine a point on it.
Well, that's my synopsis. I'll let the audience judge for themselves.
All right, okay. So, I'm headed south on Geneva Street. I'm coming into the set here at Fiddler's Poorhouse to do the show. I'm on Geneva Street. I get to Church Street. I want to turn right, so the light is red. I wait for traffic to go through because, of course, you can turn right on a red. So the traffic cleared, and I started to turn right on a red, and at that split second, the light turned green. And a fellow stepped off the curb, like boom. There was no white finger or hand or whatever. It was red hand. So he stepped off the curb at the same time I went to turn. It was just one of those coincidental things. Well, then he was walking fast, and I would have hit him. However, I was already moving, so I couldn't stop. I had to go around him, and he, gave me the one finger salute, yelled at me, and off I went. Now, I resisted the urge to retaliate, stop the car, run around, and knock him. But I didn't do that. But it occurred to me that had I hit this man, it would have entirely been my fault. In spite of the fact that there was a red hand on the crosswalk, in spite of the fact that we stepped off it, and anytime car meets human, car loses.
Yeah.
I mean, human gets hurt, but car is blamed.
Yep.
Right. So it would have been my fault, hands down. And I was just lucky that I was able to get around him. But it's just one of those things. But why can't people be nicer to me? He knew that I didn't intend.
Oh, you wonder why he flipped you the bird?
Yeah.
Well, you need proper context, Lee. It's because you were driving this.
Oh, okay. You had to do that, right?
It's part of the story, Lee. Proper context. If this guy cuts you off,
yeah.
If Lee wearing his hat,
so you drive a nice car and people give you the bird, is that it?
Driving that Jaguar cuts you off, you get the bird. I say it was half of the car, Lee. By the way, it's a beautiful ride.
Yes, it is.
It is a nice car.
So, going back to my original point was, if you have an interesting story that you would like to tell us, you can do that as well. I'm not so sure the one that I just told you qualified as interesting.
All right, Lee, let's get to some of the Niagara 411 stuff.
Let's do that, Kevin. Let's just get off this right now.
Well, no, but I mean, the show is open, okay? So
it is
just
open.
just like David, just like William, feel free to come in, share a story like Lee was saying. Just click on that link. This morning, there was a fairly serious accident about 7:30 a.m. down in Niagara Falls.
Yeah, we were going to get to this earlier, and then we got away from it. McLeod at Stanley in Niagara, possibility of 4 patients, and of course, as usual, emergency services responding. McLeod at Stanley, that is sort of on the way into Chippewa,
Yeah, McLeod Stanley in that like Thundering Waters area?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And some of the comments here kind of paint the picture of what was going on.
Truck was mangled. They had to have been doing a good speed to damage like that. And didn't we find out that there was there was a Durango going 150 clicks
so
or
we said
something.
this right here.
There. He was driving down Stanley Avenue, 150 kilometer white Dakota. Well, that's pretty speedy for that area. Pickup truck really smashed, looked like it took down a tree. Lots of police, glad they're safe. One of the injured was walking down Stanley trying to hitch a ride, trying to stop my car, was limping. Well, somebody probably in shock does something like that. It was terrible. All airbags were off, front was smashed right in, scraped all over. That is so traumatic. Have you ever been in a car accident, Kevin?
Not a significant one. Fender bender type stuff.
Well, even that is kind of traumatic. You know what it's like being in a little cruncher, and you're pretty wound up. It sets you off. Can you imagine being in something that serious? I have, luckily, knock on wood, as my mom used to say. Is this wood? I don't know. Anyway, trauma. If you're involved in something more serious than a fender bender.
And the comment here from, I think it would be Bria Baker.
Bria Baker, yeah,
Blaker,
my mom
rather.
was almost involved in this. The driver almost hit her head on as she was coming around the bend off of McLeod onto Stanley. Luckily, she was able to swerve, but it was scary because he only missed her by inches. And there again, the people that aren't necessarily directly involved, she'll keep that in her memory for quite some time. I remember probably the most serious car accident I was in was my mother was driving. I was a kid, teenager in high school, and she'd picked me up for Christmas vacation.
But they had cars then?
Hey?
They had cars?
Yeah, they had cars back then.
Oh, okay, when you were in high school?
They didn't go as fast, but
okay.
Yeah, they had cars.
No, this is new information to me, Lee.
Yeah, okay. Well, live and learn, my friend. You're young.
That's what
you
I'm here for.
youngsters have no idea what life was like. And so we were driving down the Queen Elizabeth Highway around Sodom Road area toward Fort Erie, and hit a patch of black ice. Car spun around a couple of times. So my mom did her best to correct the spin, but the spin was a little bit too extreme at that point. So the car spun around a couple of times, hit the bank of snow, and rolled over 3 times.
Wow.
Yeah, we rolled over 3 times.
That's a doozy.
Yeah. Down, luckily there was a lot of snow down into the little glen there that's off the side of the Queen Elizabeth Highway. And man, it was pretty traumatic. She was more upset than I was, of course, because she was driving. But luckily, the worst I got out of it was a bit of a cracked collarbone. But it's still pretty extreme to go through rolling over in a car.
And do you still use that excuse on the golf course?
Every single day. I got a bad shoulder.
An old shoulder injury when I was in high school.
Got a bad.
Rolled the car 3 times.
Kind of screwed up my pitching career, though. Anyway.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Here, Lee, down. And here's a little story that's actually leading to something that appeared on Niagara 411 this week. Down on Effingham, just south of Highway 20.
Are you allowed to say that on TV?
I think so. Effingham?
Effingham.
Yeah, Effingham.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, you could say Effingham.
You could say Effingham on...
I think so. You can say it on this show anyway.
All right.
So Effingham, just south of 20, and I think 20 and Canberra split, right? And there's that little section between 20 and Canberra Road, and right there on the east-hand side, there's a nice family farm, and out front they have what I would call a stand. Sometimes there's flowers out there, sometimes there's fruit.
Right.
Our family stopped by on occasion. We bought eggs from them, farm fresh eggs.
Yes.
And never knew who they were.
Now I know where you're going with this.
And then this week, all of a sudden, this story appears on Niagara 411, and I immediately go, that's that house on Effingham.
Yeah.
And it is. And here, I'll let you take it from here, Lee.
Well, this was a video, and once again, I have an issue with security cameras. Sooner or later, somebody's going to come out with a foolproof one. Now, this is pretty clear, but it's got that convex lens to it, that fisheye kind of look to it, which is still makes it difficult. So if anyone recognizes this woman and her partner that robbed us last night, please message us. Now, apparently they have a box. As best as I can understand it from the comments, Kevin, they have a box into which their receipts are put. Their cash is secured at the end of a business day. Is that how you got it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
you know, the people just the honor system.
Yeah. So, and normally they would clear that box out and go make the deposits in their current account at the bank. But on this particular day, they did not. So there was probably, according to the owner, maybe $300-400 in the box. So this car pulls up. Woman gets out, goes in, breaks in, takes the contents of the box or whatever, goes back and takes off. Now, we were going to talk to the lady that owns this place on the show, but apparently there's been some sort of development in the case, and so that we don't mess up any investigation of sorts by talking about it in the public, we passed, and she passed on having the conversation. But this is how blatant these things are becoming, and these people had to know. I mean, you'd have to be really a mental midget not to know that there wouldn't be a camera, a security camera, or security system of sorts at a place like that. Like, everybody has security cameras today for the price for the price of a tube of toothpaste. I mean, you know.
No, so Lee, Rachel Ripestra is the lady's name that posted it, and that's the family that live right there on Effingham. And there was a second video that she posted on her personal Facebook. So I want to play that as well.
Okay, this I don't remember seeing.
No, this one was not.
This one I remember seeing, but not the other one.
Yeah, this one was not on 411. So here we go. I mean, obviously similar angle.
But don't you find the fisheye lens kind of distorting?
It is distorting, but it's also very effective, right? You get
because it covers a wide
270 degree range of vision and what have you. So, and in talking to Rachel, and again, she was going to come on the show, and then, as you mentioned, development in the case, so didn't want to jeopardize anything that the police are doing, so said maybe another time. And just so you know, Lee, I do see the family members of Deidre Ann Smith in the waiting room.
Oh, they are.
I don't want to keep them waiting for too long, but I want to finish off the Rachel story.
Okay.
Ladies, we see you there. We'll get to you just a second. Again, they're joining us live from the courthouse.
Excellent.
Rachel was saying that, of course, because this post got a lot of attention on Niagara 411, she started to hear from other farmers in the area that have similar stands and saying, yes, in the last month, specifically in the last month. Oh, sorry there. Yep. Oh, there we go. Fat guy breakdown. All right, well, let's get rid of him.
Okay.
Yeah, well, that happens. It's live TV. She said that in talking to other people, they've said that particularly this month, they've also been robbed. And saying it's terrible. And, you know, obviously they've been in business for some time, so they know the normal trends and comings and goings, and saying this is odd. Yeah, in this month, for whatever reason, in August, it's been particularly bad that these roadside stands have been getting ripped off.
We're going to talk more about robberies a little bit later, but I don't want to delay family of Deidre Ann Smith. Hi. Who have we got with us?
Tara and Tasha.
Okay, hi. So you're in front of the courthouse again right now?
Yes, we are.
Okay, so how's your day been?
Pretty eventful. Another good turnout. Lots of support in the cars driving by.
How do you feel right now?
Nervous.
Yeah.
Anxious. Scared.
How long do you think you will have to wait until the sentencing actually takes place?
The sentencing takes place tomorrow at 10, and they'll go through the victim impact statements, and then they should give the sentence.
Now,
so we should know by tomorrow. That's what they did with the other two.
Okay. And you will be making victim impact statements?
We have the whole time.
You have, okay, but will you be doing that tomorrow?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. What will you say?
Just what kind of impact this has had on our family. What it's done to our three nieces, what it's done to our mother,
What it's done to us.
her loss is a huge hole in our family. I get that we're not alone in that, but
Sure feels
under
like
the circumstances and with, like I said, what they did to her after, and them not even being, it's, I don't know.
Do you have scripts? Like I often wonder how families deal with something like having to deliver a victim impact statement, because I try to put myself in that position and it would be so emotional. I don't know how I would do it. Do you have something that you will actually read, that you have prepared?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. How many of you
We had 3.5 years to.
Yeah. Okay.
All three of her daughters, her stepdaughter, her mother, her mother-in-law, my sisters, so the three of us.
My daughter.
My daughter. So there's quite a few impact statements being read.
And then clarify for me again. Sorry if I missed it.
I think we might have just lost them. As you can tell, the connection there where they were just wasn't the best. Oh, here they go. It's coming back in now.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
No. It's quite all right. We know it's unusual circumstances here. What is your understanding then? And I apologize if I missed this. From the time that you deliver your statements until the time the actual decision on the sentence comes out, what's the time frame between those two things?
It's not on.
No,
He takes
couple
a small
hours.
break.
I'm sorry?
Yeah.
That's it. He just takes a small break and then he comes back out and gets a sentence.
It's just a small break.
So we should know by early after. Yeah. After our impact statements are read, then we take a recess and then we go back in and they give the sentence. So we should know by early afternoon tomorrow what the sentence.
So do you actually feel then, the reason I ask that question is, and I know you're not lawyers, but just from the information that you've received perhaps from your legal contacts, is it likely that these victim impact statements will have an impact on the decision?
They haven't so far yet. They've fallen on deaf, so no.
In other cases, I've known that they have helped the judge to make more of an informed or more fitting sentence. But
All right.
in our case, no.
Okay, one more question, ladies, and then I'll let you go on with your day. What is the sentence that you? This is a two-part question. I'm sorry. What is the decision that you expect, and what is the decision you would desire?
The decision will probably be the same as the first one, and it'll probably be 5 years or less,
if not less.
What I want is I want it to equal the crime, a life for a life. So I want him life. I want him in prison for life. He took a life, and it wasn't just murder; it was the indignity to the body and burning them afterwards at the cover-up. So a life for life. He should be in jail for life. They all should be in jail for life. They should not be out on the streets. It's not okay to murder somebody.
Family of Deidre N. Smith, taken from us way too young, along with her boyfriend in 2018, and I don't know what to say other than I applaud your constancy, I guess, in this effort that you have to be living with every day, and hopefully your statements and your efforts will make a difference. But if they don't, certainly don't blame yourselves for not trying, because you certainly did.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Take care, ladies. Thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you again.
Okay, bye. All right.
Just,
I can't imagine.
Horribly.
Can't imagine.
Absolutely horrible. It's completely unjust. I mean,
I just thank God I can't imagine. I don't ever want to know what they're going through.
No,
people say, I know how you feel. Well, no, you don't.
No.
You don't.
I can't begin to know how they feel. I can't begin to understand what it's like to lose that life and then see unjust sentencing come down, like 6.5 years, and people getting, credit for time already served when they were killed with blunt force trauma. Their bodies were transported 300-400 kilometers away. They were dumped in a bush.
While the perpetrators sold their stuff, and then they buried them in a wilderness somewhere.
And set them on fire. Like, this is... You're only getting, like...
It's serious stuff.
I'm going to say this is a slap on the wrist. That's an equivalent of slap on the wrist. If you're 25 years old and you commit this crime, I don't know exactly how old the accused are.
But how?
But if you're like, you're out when you're in your early 30s.
How could you possibly think that these people will not think about doing something like that again? I mean, let's take the crime and punishment thing out of it for just a second. The likelihood of re-offending. Let's look at that for a second. 5 years or time served or whatever it is. How does that keep people in the future safe? Unfortunately, we can't do anything to help Deidre Ann and her boyfriend. Unfortunately, that ship has sailed. But the future potential victims of people that would do such a thing, you've got to be concerned about it. And I don't know whether the courts are even allowed. I wish we had a legal expert consultant right now to talk to you. If you are a legal person and you have some perspective for us, click on that link on the bottom of the page and come and talk to us and give us some sort of legal framework, some legal reference point to deal with as to what limits the court may have in imposing sentences based on the verdicts and the evidence involved in this case. I'm sure there are some people in the legal system that feel they have shackles on with regard to the borders within which they have to make decisions. I get that, but I don't understand them all, so I can't speak to them. But there has to be, Kevin, there has to be some nuances here at play that most of us rank and file unwashed public don't get.
But that means it's wrong. That
well,
means
it is wrong.
It just means it's wrong.
Yeah.
To say that there's nuance here, I don't know what the nuance is to suggest that somebody's going to get 6.5 years in prison.
What I mean by that is not personal opinion. There's some letter of the law. There's
right, I know what you're saying.
There's something written in legal precedents.
There's a nuance of the law, but that just tells me that the law needs to be changed. This is not a case where we have 3 parties that have been found guilty of a heinous crime. 2 lives have been taken, and collectively they're going to be behind bars for like 15, 16 years, getting 5 or 6 years each. Yeah, but that's irrelevant.
Collective is irrelevant.
Right, but 5 or 6 years each. It's absurd. Yeah. It really is. So this is a situation where I don't care what a lawyer is going to tell me. I don't care what a judge is going to tell me about the particulars of the case.
But you have to care about. But
then the law needs to be changed.
Well, yes.
The law needs to be changed. If this is what happens when people plead guilty, when people are found guilty to a crime like this, and a punishment is 6.5 years, and then you're getting possibly accelerated time for time served, it's absurd.
I get that, but the point of saying, well, the law is to be changed. Yeah, well, yeah, maybe we should stop the Earth from going around the sun and make it the other way around too. It's not. It's easy to say something needs to be changed, but the wheels of change move incredibly slowly, especially in the legal system. You don't just change legal precedent.
No, I get that, but unfortunately, in this case, the victim is once again victimized.
I understand. I get it, and I agree with you, and I feel as horrible about it as the next person. I mean, especially if one of these three people, 5 years from now, or if they get out on good behavior, like, will they serve the full 5 years? I don't know. Is it without parole? I don't know. But so all these things just seem so unjust right on the surface, at the very base level. The fact is that what if one of these three people go forth and commit some sort of other heinous act?
Yeah,
Where does that leave the judicial system then?
I almost teared up, Lee, when she said that delivering victim impact statements were going to be her three daughters. I mean, right away I'm thinking there's three young girls.
And they don't expect them to do a damn thing. Fall on deaf ears.
It's awful.
And that's why I asked the question about what's the span of time between the statements and the announcement of the decision. Oh, she said it's going to be a short recess. It's a coffee break, basically, and then they come back. Nothing's going to change. The decision is already made.
Right, so when we talk about that things within the legal system need to be changed, it seems to me that right there, you would think that the victim impact statement would be more part of the trial, not just an addendum to the sentencing.
Thank you. That is exactly what I was getting at. If it's good, is it supposed to be just therapy for the family, or is it supposed to actually have an impact on the decision? I don't think it has an impact on the decision at all.
It can't when you're doing it at the 11th hour like that.
No, it's already done. It's already written. It's done now.
If a judge came to me and said that he or she did not have a sentence in mind prior to the victim impact statement, when a sentence had to be made shortly thereafter, I'd say, well, you're not doing your job properly. They have to take time to consider everything, and then at the 11th hour, the final moment, you throw in possibly the most impactful part that may sway that sentence? That doesn't seem right.
But then again, a judge is going to sit across from you having a coffee and a burger and say, yeah, but I have rules that I have to follow too.
I know. I'm saying those rules need to be changed. And if we get further protests like this, I mean, I'm appalled at these sentences. Now, I'm not out there because we're in here, but I'm literally appalled at the sentencing given the circumstance of the crime, given the victims, the three daughters, the stepdaughter, the sisters, the family.
And now that you were talking about that, and I was just thinking about as these young people grow older, this story is going to stick with them as an absolutely pivotal plank in their development as human beings. As they grow into adulthood, as the adults grow into seniorhood, as families marry and have more offspring, and the story is passed down over time. And I'm not putting too much of a dramatic point on this, I think. What perception will that family have of our legal system going forward? How will it impact their behavior and their kids' behavior and their grandchildren who aren't even born yet? How is it going to affect their relationship with rules, regulations, law enforcement, and our judicial system when they've got that part of their family DNA? It can't be positive. So this isn't just today. This isn't just one case. This is something that will have ramifications for generations. And I don't think we can have any idea the scope of what those ramifications might be.
No, and
speaking of ramifications, Kevin, let's move off from this because we're not going to solve it today because it's a bigger issue than you and I. However, we have been talking quite a bit over the last little while about robberies, armed robberies, and you read my mind because this is the one that happened very close to where you live.
Yeah, I live very close to the regional variety and gas bar.
Last week we talked about armed robbery at a Gale's gas bar and convenience store location over on Collier Road. And we talked about the Fry Guys on Lake Street the week before. Armed robbery. Little places that don't have a lot of... We're not talking about robbing the First National Bank here. And now, the Regional Variety and Gas, located in the area of St. Paul West, just that away.
And if people, I may as well throw it out there right now, Lee. It's the gas bar with the fantastic samosas.
Okay.
Everybody knows that they're famous for their samosas. I know the family, Navdeep, her husband Ranjit. I know the family quite well.
So
they're salt of the earth people. They hand make those samosas every day. So that's the gas bar.
yeah, and it's right near Kevin's place.
Yep.
Investigation revealed an unknown male had entered the store with a firearm and demanded money and lottery tickets. The male fled the scene prior to police arrival and entered into the passenger side of a blue sedan. No physical injuries, thank goodness, as a result of the robbery. Howbeit, you're going to have trauma, psychological trauma that stays with you. It's not an easy thing to do, to be robbed, especially at gunpoint. Further investigation led to detectives identifying the subject, and here's the dude that they got. Andrew Windsor, 32 years old, no fixed address. Arrested and charged with the following offenses: robbery, disguised with intent, pointing a firearm, carrying concealed weapon, failed to comply with probation officer. Okay, so the dude's already on probation. Uh-oh. Here go the anti-probation people, more fuel for your fire. Failed to comply with release order, possession of proceeds of property obtained by crime under $5,000, couple of counts of that. Windsor was held in bail, thank God, and is expected to appear in court on August yesterday. Today's the 19th, so that was, he appeared in court yesterday. I don't know what happened there, but he was probably arraigned to some other court appearance. Is he out on the street? I don't know. See, that Tim Arnold says he's probably out already. Yeah, maybe so. But since he was already breaking his probation, but you can't count on that. Things just happen. People don't want to keep other people incarcerated because it costs us too much money to do that. So maybe he's out on the street. I don't know whether he is or not. I have to give the courts their due in this, because I'm not going to assume they let him go.
Yeah, here you go. This is Tom's comment.
Can't believe he didn't ask for a dozen samosas. That's good. If you can laugh about something like this.
And,
but people,
I feel bad because I haven't been in. I mean, here I am. I commented on this as well, saying, like you, we live super close to this station. Family run, and family is very nice. Terrible when bad things happen to nice people. Glad they apprehended the suspect. I've been meaning to go over. I've just been so busy to stop in and see Navdeep and find out
how they're doing.
How you're doing, what happened. Was it you in the store? Was it Sam Ranjit? I mean, sometimes they leave their son, who's only 14, 15, 16 years old, to run the place, and that could be traumatizing.
Maybe we could talk to them next week.
Yeah, promote their samosas as well.
Sure, why not?
And bump up the samosa sales. They are delicious.
Yeah. All right. But armed robbery, what is going on?
I don't know.
Don't people realize you're gonna rob something like these wonderful people that run a small business, or the Gales Place, or Guys Fish and Chips, or whatever the hell it is, and you're not going to get that much money to start with, and you go in with a weapon, and in particular a gun. You get convicted, you're going down. It's not like just walking in with a note and saying, "Give me your dough." You've got a gun.
I mean, St. Catharines used to be known as Stab Catharines.
Yeah.
And I was actually quite proud of that. And I think we're moving away from that. Like, as much as I don't want any crime.
You were proud of being known as Stab Catharines?
Hey, you know what? It's better than Shoot Catharines.
Well, I guess.
Right? And that's kind of how I looked at it and said, you know what? I don't want to say it was nice. It's terrible to open up these stories. And then there's also,
how about Shoot Lincoln?
There's this one, yeah.
How about Shoot Lincoln? Now here's one where there should be a lot of people hammered away at this. 4650 South Service Road in Lincoln. What that is generally known as you see there, is Bled Hall, which certainly lived up to its name over the last couple of days. Emergency services responding for a possible person with a gunshot wound. That never used to happen in Niagara. I'm sorry. Well, maybe it did, but we didn't hear about it. Circumstances unknown, but reports of a large group of people, thousands in brackets, in the area. Police are on location, fire and EMS on the way. So Kevin, somebody rented the Bled Hall for some sort of festival or some occasion, like Caravana. It wasn't Caravana, don't quote me, but like some similar sort of large group festival, right? And so now we got 2,000-3,000 people at Bled Hall in Lincoln, and is it any surprise that there is some sort of altercation? But this altercation resulted in a firearm once again being used. And this I know is sounding really redneck, and I'm sorry about this, but we're starting to, here in Niagara, feel the effects of the larger urban center to our northeast.
Yeah, everybody says that in the comments, right? That's what they always blame and say.
It's where we are now suffering the consequences of growth. Growth on one hand is good, growth on another hand, not good. Now, and these are the things that are the not good consequences.
You sift through the comments, Lee, and there's people that live in a mobile park home, a mobile home park, just kind of adjacent or nearby, and saying, yeah, it was really loud. A couple of them called the cops earlier on in the evening and saying, you know, it's super loud over there. Maybe somebody needs to stop by. I don't know how in a COVID world you can have 2,000-3,000 people together.
Well, this is my question. How could you even have that?
I have no, like, I honestly have no idea. Then they say, and I didn't look into this, but people insinuated that last year there was a stabbing at the very same event. So I guess it's an annual thing. So, you know, we've moved up from stab captains.
Last year stabbing, this year shooting.
Yeah, stab Lincoln.
Next year machine guns and Uzis.
Well, I think this one was a shotgun, and somebody got hit multiple times.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, it was a shotgun. He got
shotgun?
Hit multiple times, and luckily, no serious injury.
I don't know if anybody else is on the verge of suffering this. I don't know if it has a name or not. But I was talking to Kevin about this before we came on the air. I am almost on the verge of suffering from information overload depression. We used to complain about the fact that nobody told us anything back in the day. We didn't know anything. Now I'm starting to worry about the fact that we know too much. Because don't you every now and then, day after day, not to be too much of a downer, but wow, it's a very oppressive world of information that we are living in. We're learning too much about the underbelly of our society, and this is an area, by the way, I have to give kudos to Nick about this on Niagara 411, and I didn't bring this up just to do this, but I do want to mention it to bring a more positive spin on what I'm talking about. We see every day wonderful stories about people and animals and happenings and things that are done that do renew your faith in human nature. There's one right there, another success story. You guys are amazing. This wonderful pup is back home. So there are wonderful people on the planet. There are wonderful neighbors in our community, and I don't think we should ever lose sight of it. But Kevin, it's really easy to fall into the day-to-day abyss of negativity. If you're really not careful, this can all become quite overwhelming. And
I know exactly what you mean.
Sometimes I feel it, and then I have to make myself think about something else and get past it. But it's not easy to do that.
No, the expression you're looking for is ignorance is bliss, and it may be true.
It may be true. Then again, the more ignorant we are, the more they can take over. We have
Gentech building.
Yeah, we have a few minutes to talk about something, and maybe you can help us out. But this is kind of a policy decision on behalf of Niagara 411 Live with Lee Sterry, which would be me. Fueled by Gales Gas Bars, powered by WeeStream, supported by Performance Heating and Air, Enway High Speed Internet, Verge Insurance Group. We didn't consult all of our partners on this decision, so we just trust that they will continue to support us as they have in the past. But Kevin and I were talking about this because I asked the question. We have a federal election coming up on the 20th of September. 30 plus days away, not many. Shortest period ever of campaigning for an election. I don't think anybody is under any illusion that this is a righteous thing to do. It's an election of opportunity rather than an election of necessity. And I think I can say that without without offending too many people's intelligence, because that's pretty much what it is. So my question to Kevin is, okay, we have this show and we do not do a lot of politics on this program. A lot of other places do enough politics for all of us, but therein lies the question. My question to Kevin is, we got the federal election coming up. We have a provincial election coming up in probably June of next year, 2022. And we've discussed how this program, Niagara 411 Live, treats politics. How are we going to deal and cover politics? We can't stick our heads in the sand and ignore that it's happening, because then we could be accused by people such as yourself as ignoring the elephant in the room, which we do not want to do. But again, we don't want to reach out to people, because I have been in the mainstream media for 47 years, Kevin for a number of years as well, and we've moved on to this new world order that we're in here on Niagara 411 Live. And we don't want to make the same mistakes, or the perception of making the same mistakes that have been made in the past by media, by having a particular guest on a program or by doing an interview. You are almost immediately labeled as leaning in that area, or biased toward that party or person or whatever. You're labeled red or blue or green or orange or whatever it is, just because of the conversations you have. We want to avoid labels, if at all possible, here on this program. So we decided today, Kevin and I, before we came on the air, that we are not going to invite any political pundit or candidate or leader to appear on this program. We're not going to invite anybody, because if you invite anybody, you pretty much have to invite everybody, and then you end up in this morass of, well, they're red or they're blue or they're pink or they're green or they're purple or they're whatever the hell they are, and we're not going to do that. But there is a but. The caveat to this policy is that if you want to speak on behalf of someone, if you are someone who is running, if you do have a political comment to make, if you are a political candidate, click in. We're not going to refuse to talk to you. We're going to put the monkey back on your back. The monkey is not on our back to reach out to you to do political statements or political stories or political policies or platforms. We're taking that monkey off our back and putting it back on you. We're not going to reach out to anybody, but we are not going to refuse conversations with anybody either. We'll ask the questions, we'll be respectful, we're not going to take positions, we're not going to be a color, we're not going to be a party, but we will give you a platform if you so desire one. Have I made that as clear as I can possibly make it, Kev?
Clear as day. That's
Okay.
exactly what it is.
All
Come
right.
on if you want, but we're not reaching out.
Nope. And that's, but again, you dial in, come on in and fill your boots. And then if you're a competitor or somebody with an opposing view wants to come in and speak to your comments or their own comments or their own events, you're having a rally, I don't care what it is. You're more than welcome to come and talk to us, and we'll be very respectful and open, and there are no sacred cows, as they used to say, here on the program. So that's how we're treating it, because one of the things that we have been complimented for in the past is we'll talk to anybody, and we will. The last thing I want to end up being accused of, as back in the old traditional media days, is of being a color. I don't want to be a color. I don't want to be a party. I don't want to be a thing. I don't want to be a platform, other than a platform for open dialogue. That's it. So Kevin, thank you as always for being you. And I know we have
Back at you.
we have a very interesting time ahead of us as September looms, and as September looms, so does the school year. And one of the things that came out is the province is going to mandate, or will probably be mandating, vaccinations for healthcare and education workers in Ontario. Probably a good thing. We have what Dr. Hergy has
family walking by there.
Yeah, what Dr. Hergy has called an epidemic of the non-vaccinated that we're in right now. And so the entire fleet of ships has not sailed on the COVID thing. Kevin, what do you expect come September with your children? And again, not to make it all about Kevin, but he's the poster child on this program for school-age children.
I find the timing of the election oddly suspicious. My assumption is that everything will be smooth and perfect in the schools until September 30th, and then once whomever it is elected, in probably the week or two that follows that, we're going to see a severe and dramatic reaction to what's happening with COVID and in our schools and vaccinations, et cetera, et cetera. So that's what I hey, you know what, Lee? This happened last night. We are going to get to Little Nerves. They're a band from St. Catharines, so we're going to hear one of their songs to wrap up the program.
Okay, good.
But do we want to do Jack Morris? Because he got into a little trouble last night.
Jack Morris, one of the greatest Major League Baseball pitchers of all time, long time retired, has been doing color commentary and what they call a baseball analyst for the Detroit Tigers for quite some time. And just to prove how thin-skinned society is and how unable you are to have any fun or have any levity in your conversation, this is a prime example. Shohei Ohtani came up to bat, one of the great hitters, baseball players in current Major League Baseball, and he is Japanese. And this is what happened.
Now what do you do with Shohei Ohtani?
Be very careful.
Now, Kevin, play it again.
Now what do you do with Shohei Ohtani?
Be very careful.
All right. So you heard that. I'm not going to repeat it.
Now what do you do with
Shohei
Shohei
might pull me out of
Ohtani?
the window. I don't know.
Be very careful.
So Jack Morris used
Here's his apology.
Oh, okay.
It's been brought to my attention, and I sincerely apologize if I offended anybody, especially anybody in the Asian community, for what I said about pitching and being careful to Shohei Ohtani. I did not.
So Jack has been pulled from the he has been suspended. He is going to have to, if he hopes to return to his role as analyst for the Detroit Tigers baseball team, go through sensitivity training or something of that nature. And all because, I mean, how many times over the years I have used, just to have some fun, made up accents of different, English, Irish, Scottish, it doesn't matter, but you can't do that anymore. Where has the sense of humor or the sense of satire gone? I guess it's gone away. I guess that age is past. We cannot indulge ourselves in any sort of parody whatsoever. And I guess I have to find that acceptable, but I find it sad. The entire United Kingdom, British, English comedy world was built on making fun of themselves. and making fun of those things that are intrinsically British. I mean, the things like Benny Hill and Monty Python, and all these things, so irreverent, so satirical, so made fun of the church, made fun of themselves, made fun of everybody, because nobody was safe from the pen and the wit of comics and satirical writers and performers. Where all that's gone.
Yeah, I know it's a losing argument, Lee.
I can't.
Like that argument is a losing argument.
I know I can't win it.
No,
I cannot win it. I did 12 out of the 18 or 19 years I spent on the air on mainstream radio and music radio. I probably spent 12 of them doing morning shows because somebody thought I was funny. But I could not do the shows now that I did then.
No,
I would be run out of town on a rail, or you're thrown in jail or something.
And I get it. Our perspective as the white man in North America.
Yeah.
It's not a perspective where we can say, I don't understand why that's offensive. Well, you don't understand because you're a white guy in North America.
Yeah.
So I get it. Like I totally get it. It's a losing argument, but that's the direction we're heading.
Yeah.
And I have to say, I guess it's for the best. But I feel for a guy like Jack Morris who meant no ill intent.
Of course not. He mentioned actually what he said about Otani was a comment of respect.
Yeah.
Because the guy's such a dangerous hitter. And what did they end up do? They ended up walking him on purpose. So they were very, very careful.
Right, but you can't. All right, Lee, so
I gotta
coming
go.
up, I'm just saving you. We got
I gotta go. I got things to do, Kevin.
Little Nerves is a St. Catharines band. I'm not really familiar with them other than they're from St. Catharines. And this song released about a year ago. It's called No Time Like the Present.
Hey, it's been fun. Have a great weekend, everybody. Little Nerves coming up. Enjoy your day.
Gotta save her for the baby.